Hello and welcome. This is Cheryl. Thank you so much for joining me today. In this video, we're going to open up day 9 of the Crafty Advent Calendar. So if you're not ready to see what's in day 9, save this video till you want to see it, because this is your last warning. So I'm opening up the window. This one is giving me a little bit of trouble. And then I got a little bit confused because there's no picture on the inside part of the window, which there normally is, until I saw what was in there. So for day 9, we have some yellow sequins, and the sequins has a really beautiful opalescent shine to it. So the shine has a little bit of pinks and a little bit of greens to it. And right away, my first thought was it would go really well with the bee die from day 6. So off screen, I put the bee together because I've already done that on screen. I don't think we needed to see it again. And I thought it would go well with this Floral for You 3D embossing folder. This one was a release that happened about 6 months ago or so, and it's one of my favorite embossing folders because it has a beautiful image as well as a die that cuts it out. There's a little well right in that embossing folder. You place that die right in there. It almost locks in place, and then put your paper on top, put it through your die cutting machine on the 3D setting, and this is what you have. I brought out my Altenew Ultra Sticky Mat to do some ink blending because I wanted to give it some color and not have it just white. And rather than just go with plain ink pads, I decided to pull out my Cloud9 Interference ink pads to give it not only some color, but a little bit of shimmer as well. I chose 2 that have a gold interference shimmer. So when you tilt them to the light, I think that's going to coordinate really beautifully with those sequins between the pink as well as that little gold shimmer that they have. So the first one I'm using here is Fruit Salad, and then I'm going to be using Golden Sun. And both the interference as well as the dye part of the ink pads go well together. So the Fruit Salad has like a lighter gold or a lighter yellow interference, and the Golden Sun has a little bit darker gold interference. And the ink color, the dye ink color for the Golden Sun is also a darker color than the Fruit Salad, and I love the final result. Off screen, I took my Essential Arches die set and I die cut some mats. I showed the yellow one at the beginning, but I had decided that it was a bit too big, so off screen I cut it a little bit smaller and then cut a white one that was the same size as the yellow one that I originally had. Then I took that Golden Sun pad and I just ran it around the edges. Doesn't need to be over the entire piece because the only thing we're going to see is the edges. We have some mats that are going over top of it, and so everything else is going to be hidden. So it's going to tie in beautifully with that shimmer that we just did with the ink blending. Then I'm gluing down my yellow one, and this one is called Beeswax Cardstock. It's from Spellbinders. The colors that I used with my bee were that Beeswax the Beeswax cardstock, as well as white and black, and then I also used some vellum. Next, we're going to glue down the 3D embossed piece here, and I'm gluing everything down with Barely Art glue. I can glue just the tiniest thing together, or I can glue larger things together, even with that fine tip point. Now I want to use these sequins kind of scattered around the card. I'm going to use a few as the centers of the flowers, and then I want a few just scattered around. I don't want to overdo it and have too many there. You can really do as many or as few as you want, but once I put them on for the centers of the flowers, I just added a few extras to that background to tie in the yellow of the bee as well as my yellow background. It's really easy to put these sequins in place when you have a jewel picker. It just picks them up and you can put a dot of glue where you want them to go, and then use the jewel picker to just place them in that dot of glue. You could use your fingers or some tweezers as well, but I find myself when I do it with my fingers, I tend to get my fingers into the glue. So this is a great solution. So this was a really quick card to put together because I didn't do any detailed ink blending on that background, but I absolutely love the ombre look of it. It makes that bee really pop, and it really coordinates beautifully with that sequins that is in day 9. These ones also would be great for using in shaker cards. If you like to do shaker cards, the sequins are perfect for that as well. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you tomorrow, and we'll see what is in day 10 of the Crafty Advent Calendar.